Hello my YouTube friends! I recently did a video on how to set up this 3D camera in OBS. In that video I walk you through how to create the scene, animate it, and add the camera and assets. There's going to be a link at the end of the video so you can check it out and learn all that stuff if you haven't seen the video. But when it was finished, I thought, wouldn't it be cool if there was a way to transition from one scene to another and have the camera zoom into that 3D screen. And to do that, I actually combined two transitions into one, and I want to show you how to do it today. Oh, and by the way, everything is totally free. So let's get to it! I'd like to thank today's sponsor, Owned. Owned is a website that offers anything a Twitch streamer could possibly want. On Owned.tv, there are thousands of overlay packs with alerts and stingers built in, as well as emotes and badges, and like I said, just about everything you could want. But what really excites me is the Owned Pro site. On Owned Pro, you download a plugin for OBS, and in OBS, you can browse and select from thousands of overlay packs that download and are set up completely right out of the gate in OBS. You can add alerts and labels and modify the text and even create custom layouts in just a few minutes. And they all have custom stingers that are set up with the profile so you don't have to do anything. You just download them and they're ready to go. In just a few minutes, you're gonna have a professional stream that looks like you spent $1 million. The best part is for just a few bucks a month, and I mean less than that crappy Netflix subscription you never use anyways, you're gonna have access to every single one. So you could change it up on every stream in just a few minutes if you really wanted to. So take a second and check out Own TV and Own Pro. Down below there are links in the description for each one. If you have the means to support the sponsors that support this channel, it goes a long way towards helping me continue to make content that helps you. So thanks! So to do this, we're going to combine two transitions into one. The first is a traditional stinger transition. If you want to learn how to make this one, there's a link in the description to show you how. And the second part is the camera zoom into the 3D wall. To combine these two transitions, we're going to use DaVinci Resolve. It's a free editing application that anyone can download and use, and it's really powerful. There is a link in the description so you can grab it and follow along. That is the best way to learn. Alright, so we're going to go into DaVinci Resolve. We're going to click New Project, and I'm just going to name this project Corner Pin Transition. We're going to create it, and we're going to go up here to File, and we're going to go to our project settings. We just want to make sure that it's 30 frames per second or 60 if that's what you're streaming at, and 1920 by 1080, and we're all set. We're going to go into the editing page, and what we're going to do is, if you don't have the media pool, you can just select that to add it, and we're going to put our elements in here. In this case, our videos that we created in the last one. If you haven't seen the video where we created this scene or the video where we created this stinger, there will be links down in the description below for you to check those out. So now I drag my original transition into the timeline here. We're going to have it on the bottom. I'm going to move it so it's covering the whole screen. So now I'm going to drag transition footage on there, and you're going to want to film the transition footage in whatever outfit or costume or background or whatever that you generally live stream at. Because what this is going to do is it's going to theoretically fool your audience into thinking that the transition is actually live. And then at the end of the transition, it will transition into the live video. So we drop that footage in there, and now I'm just going to rearrange these layer order. I'm going to go ahead and move the stinger up to the top. And now we're going to drag our background footage in there, and we'll stretch it out all the way to the end. And now you can see that when we do this, we get the full screen of our stuff. So I'm just going to clip this up to where I want the transition footage to start. And there we go. That looks good. So now I'm going to right click on our footage here, and we're going to go into Open Fusion page. And I'm going to drag our background in here so we can see the background. And I'm going to drag this down here. Now what I'm going to do is select our regular footage, left shift and space, and I'm going to type DVE in here, and it will add it onto our original media source. Then I'm going to go ahead and click the transform button, which will add that onto the end of the DVE. So now we have two different ways that we can manipulate our image here. And I'm gonna adjust the size, and as you can see, for some reason, we're not actually seeing our background. So I have to adjust the way that this is set up. We have an extra merge node on there, but that's no big deal since we're really not gonna use that. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna use the DVE to skew it by using this rotation, and we're gonna move it around, shrink it up a little bit by changing these settings here. And what we really wanna do is kind of get it into the location where we want our camera to be. So each of these rotations rotates it on a different axis, and we just want to kind of get it in there as best we can. Then we can go into transform and we can adjust different aspects of this as well. We can adjust the size, the location, the spacing, and you want to use the transform and the DVE in conjunction with one another to go back and forth and just get everything set up the way that you want it. You can see when we move these here, it will adjust the rotation and the angle and all that sort of stuff to give it a more 3D appearance. And we go back into DVE and we can center it up to the location. And you have to realize that this is all going to happen while it's moving. It's going to be in transition, so it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but it does help if you try to get it as close as you possibly can to fitting in there, because the actual transition will be less jarring if you get it right. So I'm just going to keep adjusting this X size, and we're going to go back into DVE and keep putting it into the proper location. And I think we're pretty close there to where we want to be. Just some super fine adjustments. And if you just click in these boxes and you go left or right with your mouse while you're holding down your mouse button, you can finely adjust these very fine adjustments to get it into the location where you want it, or as best you can. You can spend all kinds of time doing this. Needless to say, you want it to be as good as possible, but it doesn't have to be perfect. And there we go. That's about as close as I really need to have it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and move my playhead to where I want my transition to end. And then I'm gonna click on transform, and I'm gonna select everything that we changed, which in this case is just that X size. Then I'm gonna select DVE, and I'm going to select everything that we changed and click these little red dots next to it. And the reason why we wanna do this is because we're marking a keyframe there. So now we can go back to the original location of our playhead, which is frame 146, and we're going to put back the settings to exactly the way they were when we originally created this file. Now anything that you changed is going to have this little dot. You can just click on it, it'll go back to the original. The center X and Y's are 0.5, so they're really easy to fix. You just click the dots and you put your centers back, and now we have our scene where it's supposed to be with keyframes. So now you can see that it's going to go ahead and zoom us in like that. So we're all set. We're all created the way we want to be. I'm going to go ahead and click settings, and I'm going to add motion blur to the transition and to the DVE. And this is pretty cool because now it masks it even more. It makes it look like it's actually moving in 3D space. That is awesome. So what I'm going to do is just disconnect our background here since we don't need it anymore. And we're going to connect this up here so we just have that camera motion. That's all we need. We're going to go back into edit, and now we can see once we turn on our background exactly how this is gonna look. So we'll click the play, we get our transition, and boom. Now of course it's choppy here because I'm using an old junky computer, but that's all right. Now you want to make sure that you click here to set your opacity keyframe, and then we're gonna move it out, and we're gonna select another location where we want our opacity to completely fade out our video. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a keyframe to the opacity here, and I'm just gonna set it all the way to 0 and then trim everything up. And so now we can see that it transitions and it fades out, which means it's going to fade in our other camera, which is right behind it. And that's how this works. Now all we have to do is go into our little spaceship here, which is our render settings. And I just have it set to custom, and we're gonna select our file name, and we're gonna choose a location. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to QuickTime, and I'm gonna select GoPro Cineform, and then I'm gonna leave it RGB 16-bit, 1920 by 1080, 30 frames per second, and I just want to click Export Alpha. And I'm going to add it to the render queue and click Render All. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in Shutter Encoder, which is a free encoder that's going to make this file a lot smaller and easier to use. Under Choose Function, I'm going to drop this down and select VP9, and then I'm going to go over here to Advanced Features, and I'm going to select Enable Alpha Channel. And now all I have to do is click Start Function, and it's going to encode that into WebM so we can use it very easily on our live stream. So now our assets are created, let's add them into OBS and put everything together. Here in OBS, what we're going to do is we have our scene set up. You can see I have two different ones set up to make this transition easy. And we can lower the screen and raise the screen. Once again, you can check that other video down in the description so you can build this scene for yourself. And what I'm gonna do is go over here and select Stinger. And we can name it if we want, I'm not gonna. We'll just click here and we're gonna select frame. We're gonna make sure we are changing over at the 20th frame. Then I'm gonna go to Browse and find our transition that we just created in DaVinci Resolve. Click Open, and we can go down to the bottom here and click Test. It will show us exactly what our transition is gonna look like, and we click OK. So now when we transition, you can obviously see that this transition runs, which isn't useful on that one, but we'll fix that in a second. Let's click our other scene, and here we go. There the transition works. It's awesome. Now, you might see that it looks pretty abrupt when it changes from the fake camera to the live camera, and that's of course because I'm not making any effort to make it look the same, but it also means that if I wanted to fade that opacity in a lot longer time, then that transition would be much more subtle. And so this is gonna be basically for your taste. Do you really care that your audience knows that that little tiny 5-second clip where it's moving is not live, or do you not? That's really based on your taste. So now that we have this transition all set up, what we can do is we can right click on our main scene, the camera scene, and we go to Transition Override, and we just add that stinger in there as the transition override. And now we just go and we switch our regular transition to whatever we want it to be for every other scene. In this case, I can just select cut. So now when we go back to this scene, it just cuts. But when we go to this scene, it gives us our transition. So there we go. It's that simple. And man, that really does look cool. It's just immersive for your audience, and they're all gonna wonder how the heck you possibly did that. If you wanna see how the background animations and 3D camera were set up for this whole video, you can check it out right here. And if you're always looking for tools, tips, and tricks that can help make you a better streamer or YouTuber, subscribe to the channel. Big thanks to OWN for sponsoring this video. You can find OWN's links and all my other sponsors in the sponsor section in the description below. Supporting the sponsors definitely helps to keep the lights on here in the studio so I can continue to make content that helps you. And I couldn't possibly do this without them or you. So thanks. My name is Michael Feyrer Jr. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.